Hey my polish peeps, this is Jackie coming to you with another segment of Make Polish with me. Thought I would do a polish for the season. This was from Sips and Tips again, and I named this Cauldron Fire. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Alright, cool. Thought it was a really neat color. It turned out cool. Once again, this is Cauldron Fire from Sips and Tips. And there that is. Got lots of stuff in there. Pretty cool. First, I'm going to go over what we need to do this. So one of the things that we do need is a little container to pour all your ingredients in. I get these off of Amazon. I love it because it has a little spout, makes it easier to pour into the bottles. And it does do milliliters on one side. And let's see, does it do? Yeah, I think it just does milliliters, just milliliters. Usually I do it up to 50, and that usually gives me at least 2 to 3 bottles of 8-ounce or 15-ounce bottles of polish. And so that's kind of what I like to use those. So you can find those on Amazon. Other thing we need is something to measure. So I'd like these little drops and pinches, really cute. These are all off of, this is off of Glitter Unique. Also, you do need a base. Glitter Unique glitter suspension base is the one that I tend to use for just about everything I make because I really enjoy it, and it's a great base and it holds up glitters and shimmers and everything else that you might want to put in there. Bottles. Here's some bottles. These are also from Glitter Unique. Love their bottles because I like the matte finish and I like it that it's flat on top. This is a 15 milliliter. They also carry the little 8 milliliters too, so you can do either one. I just tend to have both on hand, so in case I have a little bit leftovers, I can make another 8 milliliter. Something else, nice workspace. You do want a recipe if you have made one. So I usually put them on Post-its, and then I transfer those into a recipe book that I do have. Once again, we will be making something else I forgot to mention. You most likely need some thinner. A lot of times, sometimes things get a little thick, so thinners work. Little remover sometimes happens too. And stir sticks, as always. Need some stir sticks. Once again, I think that's everything. Once again, we'll be making this butte called Cauldron Fire. Here's what it looks like already swatched. This is 3 coats. It's a little thinner of a consistency, so it did take 3 coats, but look at that. How pretty is that? It's very, very pretty. I like that. Neat for the season, I think. Lots of glittery, shimmery things in there. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. I like that. Once again, I called this Cauldron Fire. So let's get started and showing you what I'm going to be making with this. We're going to be using the Pastel Pigment number 3. Pastel Aurora Pigment number 3, I should say. Isn't that pretty? Whew, gorgeous, y'all. Starlight Micro Flakes number 17. Those are stunning. Kind of see a little bit of a pink shimmer in there. Pastel Aurora Pigment 7. Black Micro Flakes. Of course, got to put a little black in there. Love that. And the main base color is going to be Indigo Sky color. And there's Indigo Sky. And that's the liquid pigment that we'll be using. Let's get started. Here we go. Fun is gonna be. Like I said, I usually go up to 50 or 50 milliliters because I like to make at least 2 to 3 of these once I'm on the mood to make some polish. Right about there. This one called for 10 drops of Indigo Sky. So let's do 10 drops of that. Shake that up and make sure it's all nice and shook up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Once we do that, let's stir, 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 and see what we got so far. There it is. 10 drops of Indigo Sky. There it is. It's a pretty color on its own, isn't it? I like that one. Make sure that's all nice and really stirred up. Then the next thing I have here is Pastel Aurora 3. Whoops. Yep, we have this one next. I'm going to put this over to the side here. That's this one. And I have one dash. I love those. I really do like these little measuring sticks. I think the names are cute. But whatever measuring sticks you have, you can use. And I put one of these dashes in there. Which is not a lot. Just enough to make that pretty. And I'm, you know, usually mine are a little oversized dash. So there you go. That's an oversized dash. One thing I usually do have on hand also is a little swatcher. So you can kind of swatch as you go, so make sure, you know, in case you want to add this or that, see if it comes up to what you want. So that was one dash of Indigo or Aurora Pigment 3. The next one I have on mine is Starlight Micro Flakes number 17. That's this one. Isn't that gorgeous? You guys, that's just so pretty. Look at that. Just so pretty. And it looks like I used to put 2 dashes of those in there. So we're going to do that. Like I said, I usually do a little over. There's 1, 2. Once again, that was Micro Flakes of Starlight. Very pretty. Oops. And then the next thing I had on mine was dash of Pastel Aurora number 7. That's this one here. That's also stunning. Look at that. They all kind of have the same kind of flavor to those. And I think I have 1 dash of that. And we're going to stir this to make sure all this gets nice and stirred. And see what this looks like. This is usually, you know, kind of the time when if you want to do a swatch to see if you want to put more of that in there, you can do that at this point. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Awfully pretty. Gorgeous. And then I did put some black microflakes to add a little oomph to all of that. I put 2 dashes of those in there. Not a pretty big dashes. Oops. Poof. Look at that. Poof. Stuff gets all over the place. It truly does. Like we always say, making polish is it's a messy business. All right, there we go. We're going to swatch this and see what it looks like, because that's awfully pretty. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Cauldron Fire. Let's check it out. I'm going to use one of these 15 milliliter bottles to see what it looks like. Kind of leave it in there because it doesn't work very well when it's still a little stiff, but it's getting there. There we go. Add a little thinner, a little thick. So make sure the consistency is, there we go, it's a little bit better. A little bit more. That should do it. I'll pour this into a bottle, and then we'll do another swatch of that. Oops. Messy business, told you. Messy business. There we go. There's the first one. Cauldron Fire. I did add a little bit bigger scoops to the Starlights, so it's gonna look a little bit different, but there it is. Not too bad. Cool. Loving that. See if we can put another coat of that on there. There we go. There it is. Cauldron Fire. That looks fiery. Pretty cool. Love the gold. Very pretty. Gonna pour another one. Let that dry. Very gorgeous color. Very fallish, Halloweenish. Love that. Fun color. Very cool. And I think I have enough for one more at least. Once again, all these items are from Glitter Unique. I will put all that information below on what I used, and I will leave that website down below so you can go and check it out. They have lots of fun stuff to choose from if you want to try your own thing. They have boxes you can try also that have recipes in there, which is a lot of fun. There we go. There's another one. Cool. And there's a little bit left in here. I'm going to add a little bit more of this and probably make a small one. There we go. Stir that up. And then use one of these 8 milliliters to top it off. A little scraping. Make sure you get all of that gorgeous goodness out of there. Gorgeous goodness. And there's the 8 milliliter. Very fun. I love that. So that's what I called Cauldron Fire. And that's what that looks like swatched. I do have some pictures of it on my Instagram page, so if you want to go see it swatched on my fingers, go ahead and head on over to that. Cauldron Fire. There we did it. A little bit of a mess here. Put that up there. There we did. This one, again, is called Cauldron Fire. How fun is that one? Gotta love it. And that's the next segment of Make Polish with me. Thanks for joining, and I will talk to you later. Bye.